Guns N' Roses' sound may be built around Slash's guitar and Duff McKagan's bass, but singer Axl Rose's soulful performance makes you believe every word he sings. Rose's volatile personality feeds his persona on stage, but it's when he's expressed that volatility in the real world that he's done some damage. And while he currently leads Guns N' Roses' reunion tour virtually without incident, the 30-year trail he left in his wake still makes fans wonder exactly what in his past made his appetite for destruction such a real and dangerous thing. Here's the tragic real-life story of Axl Rose. Childhood abuse. When Rose was 2 years old, his parents split, which, according to Rose, led to his being kidnapped by his birth father. Rose recalled one horrific incident, telling Rolling Stone in '89, "I remember a needle, I remember getting a shot, and I remember being sexually abused by this man and watching something horrible happen to my mother when she came to get me." But the abuse he had already suffered by his birth father was only amplified by his stepfather's controlling nature. Rose told Rolling Stone, "My mom had a daughter, and my stepfather molested her for about 20 years and beat me consistently. I thought these things were normal." Rose became very protective of his sister Amy, even as adults. She eventually landed the gig as the Guns N' Roses fan club manager and accompanied the band on the road. High school dropout. As a kid, Axl Rose had zero tolerance for authority, but if he's to be believed, he was quite the brainiac. He told Rolling Stone, "On the placement tests in school, I was always in the top 3%. After dropping out in 11th grade, going back as a senior and dropping out again, he fully set his sights on music. But because of his stepfather's religious beliefs, he had to do it on the sly, telling the LA Times, "I remember once my friend Dave called me and played Supertramp over the phone. I just acted like I was talking to him so no one would know." Trouble with the law. Looking at Axl's track record over the years, it's easy to guess he probably had a rebellious streak in him while growing up in Lafayette, Indiana. He told Rolling Stone, "Me and my friends were always in trouble. It finally reached a point where I realized I was going to end up in jail because I kept with the system." He did end up in jail for 3 months after getting into a fight with a young man who later befriended Rose and wanted the charges dropped. But Rose explained, "Once you've pissed off a detective, it's a vengeance rap back there." Finally, Rose left Indiana to find his fortune in California. Axl and the women. Stemming from his childhood experiences, Axl revealed to Rolling Stone that he's been through hell when it comes to women. This was particularly true of his brief, troubled marriage to Erin Everly, the inspiration behind Sweet Child of Mine. And a high-profile relationship with model and actress Stephanie Seymour was likewise fraught with problems, with Rose even mourning her death in the video for November Rain. But as a celebrity, Rose was forced to work through his issues in public. He channeled his frustrations into his songwriting, but his lyrics were viewed as mean-spirited in songs like My Michelle, misogynistic in Back Off Bitch, or even murderous in Used to Love Her. Rose tried to explain to the mag, "The anger and the emotions and stuff scare people. I don't think our music promotes that you should feel this way. We're saying you're allowed to feel certain ways." But he wasn't stopping just because people were scared. Welcome to the jungle. When Rose vented his rage, nothing in his path was safe. Rolling Stone visited him in '89, reporting his condo was totally wrecked, writing, "One guitar has been destroyed, a mirrored wall shattered, several platinum albums broken beyond repair, and the telephone dropped off a 12th-story balcony." Rose wouldn't tell the reporter what had set him off, but he did say, "When I get stressed, I get violent and take it out on myself. I've pulled razor blades on myself, but then realized that having a scar is more detrimental than not having a stereo. I'd rather kick in my stereo than cut my arm." Causing a riot. Rose's violent streak has occasionally had massive consequences. The most infamous incident occurred at a concert in St. Louis in '91 when, according to Rolling Stone, Rose spotted an audience member with a camera and took matters into his own hands by diving into the crowd. Rose then got back on stage and announced,
"Well, thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm going home."
And he did. A riot started not long afterward, resulting in 60 injuries, 16 arrests, and $200,000 in damage to the facility. Similarly, at an August '92 double bill with Metallica, Rose ended Guns N' Roses' set early, complaining of a sore throat and setting off another violent riot. As late as 2003, Rose would simply not show up at scheduled Guns N' Roses shows, causing riots in some venues and leading some promoters to stop booking the band. Getting help. Rose told Rolling Stone that he began controversial regression therapy in February 1991, hoping to heal the source of his anger. He said, "When they talk about Axl Rose being a screaming 2-year-old, they're right. There's a screaming 2-year-old who's real pissed off and hides and won't show himself that often, even to me. Here's hoping that he's found some peace and that he continues to rock on with his music. Thanks for watching. Click the grunge icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out this other cool stuff we know you'll love too.